Yo, what's up? It is yours truly, Tazz Daddy, and I know it's been a minute, but it's time to get it in, man. Chris Brown has lost his fucking mind again. Of course, you know by now that Chris Brown was being interviewed by Robin Roberts of Good Morning America under the guise of talking about the Fame album, Forgiving All of My Enemies, or Fans Are My Everything. You know, it needs to be called Fame, Fool Ass Male Ego. Chris Brown was barraged with questions about his incident with Rihanna. And while I understand that Chris was trying to keep it strictly on the album, what I feel Chris Brown doesn't understand is that as long as you're Chris Brown, people are going to ask you about Rihanna. Simply because you have the woman beater label on you. Is it fair? Absolutely not. Michael Vick will always have the dog killer label on him. Is it fair? Absolutely not, especially after he did his time. But these are the things that you have to deal with when you are in the public spotlight. Now, after the interview with Robin Roberts, Chris Brown allegedly went to his dressing room, started yelling and screaming, and then he broke a glass window in the Good Morning America facility in that dressing room. And the thing about it is, why? Like, what did that solve? You're angry. You basically threw a 3-year-old tantrum. You might as well just put on a diaper and been in the middle of Walmart talking about, no, nobody wants to hear that shit. Chris Brown really needs an ass whipping, you know. And I am a big fan of Chris Brown's music. I'm just not a big fan of the bullshit. Now, here's something that I need black entertainers to understand, and I'm not saying anything that isn't true because I am a black entertainer. You need to understand you can't do the things you see white entertainers do. You can't trash hotel rooms and dressing rooms and think that that's, rock and roll sexy. You can't do that. You're not Brett Michaels. You damn sure ain't Charlie Sheen. Um, and on Twitter, Chris Brown began to talk about how it's unfair that Charlie Sheen can do all this crazy stuff and it's cool, but if he does something crazy, then it's a big deal. Aside from the fact that people believe Charlie Sheen is white and he's not, but that's a whole nother hour show, Charlie Sheen's flops in the movies have grossed more than Chris Brown's entire career. He's on a totally different level. This man was the highest paid actor on television in Hollywood. This man starred in Wall Street 1 and 2. He's Charlie Sheen. Like, who hasn't seen a Charlie Sheen movie? I don't care where you grew up. I mean, there's people in Bangladesh with bombs on their back who know who Charlie Sheen is. Chris Brown, not so much. Yes, he's famous. Yes, Chris Brown is great. He's a hell of a dancer. He can do the whole Michael jams. I'm not taking any of that away from him, but he's not anywhere near on the level of a Charlie Sheen. Chris Brown was sperm when Charlie Sheen was making hit movies. That is the bottom line. And when you have that kind of history behind you and you begin to have a decline, people are going to want to capitalize upon that. So people look at the stuff that Charlie Sheen does and says, and they make T-shirts and they make fun of him. But at the end of the day, Charlie Sheen sold out a gang of large venues, some of which Chris Brown has not played, and is making $7 million from it. He's winning. At the end of the day, you can't do what Charlie Sheen does. I don't know how to say that. Now, in all fairness to Chris Brown, Charlie Sheen did a whole lot of fucked up shit. A lot of people don't remember this, but when Charlie Sheen was with Kelly Preston, who is John Travolta's wife now, he shot her. And they said the gun went off. Had that been Chris Brown would have got the electric chair. And they don't even do the electric chair anymore, but they would have his ass real quick. He put a knife to Brooke Mueller's throat, on Christmas. And, nothing happens to Charlie Sheen. And God only knows what he did to Denise Richards. Anyway, you slice it, though, Charlie Sheen still is on a different level than what a Chris Brown is. And I'm saying all this to say that Chris Brown needs to grow the fuck up. And I know there are a bunch of Chris Brown fans out here who feel like I'm hating on him, and I'm not. I'm actually concerned about him because if you look at his body language at that Good Morning America interview, it looked like he was just crunching inside of himself. He never looked at Robin Roberts directly. He kind of looked past her off into the audience of his fans because he was looking for some support. He has a lot of issues, and people can say, "Oh, he went to anger management." That's court appointed anger management. That's like going to court appointed driving class. You don't want to go, but you know what? You don't want to pay the fine or go to jail either. So you fucking go through it, you muddle through it, and you keep it moving. But did he take anything from it? He broke a fucking window. Survey says, bing, 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 bing. He didn't. So what I need you to do is stop talking about who's a Chris Brown hater and ask yourself what you can do to help Chris Brown help himself. Maybe he needs to get away from that manager he was fucking. Maybe somebody needs to tell him, "Hey, Chris, sit your ass down." And why does this nigga look like WWE superstar Randy Orton with all these tattoos up his sleeve and his chest? And don't even get me started on the Cisco hairdo. I didn't know if that was Chris Brown or Amber Rose or Cisco. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I know is that boy needs some help, and y'all need to stop babying that boy and acting like what he's doing is just the greatest thing ever. It's not. It is deplorable, it is immature, and it has ruined his career. So rest assured when I tell you, if he makes a comeback out of this, I'll be absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. If you want to holler at me, you can always go to twitter.com/Tazz Daddy. That's twitter.com/TAZZDADDY. Or hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Tazz Daddy Show, facebook.com/Tazz Daddy Show. As always, be easy, don't be breezy. Be easy, don't be breezy. Because breezy's crazy than a mother.